Here's what's happening on the right. Young women, I talk to young conservative women all the time about their lives and their goals and, the things that they want. And what's happening is they can't find men who are maybe more conservative. Usually they're looking for somebody who is religious, like a lot of conservative women tend to be God loving conservatives. And they can't find a lot of young men who want to marry a working woman now. And this is an actual problem that's coming up on the right. And to me, it's so sad because it's like, how did we get to the point where we're now telling young, conservative, amazing women that they're not attractive if they also work, if they choose to, let's say, do what I'm doing and what you're doing and like get their voice out there. But I'll stick with me just because I think conservatives listening to this will like the thought of another Megyn Kelly voice up and coming. Well, why wouldn't we want that? Why would we take somebody who's talented in this field and really wants to make a difference and have the messaging to her be, you're really not that valuable unless you give it up and go into the home and only have a family and only raise a family. And not only are we sending her that message, but young men are...
Yo, these conservative women are such covert feminists. Nobody is saying that women should give up their career. Let me put this succinctly so you guys can understand. What we're saying is prioritize your youth, prioritize building a family. So that means finding a husband, getting pregnant, having a kid. Don't just have one kid, have preferably 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 kids. Build up that family while you can, while you're still youthful, beautiful, and you can find the highest caliber guy. Don't do what modern women are doing, which is having all of their fun up front and then trying to hit a buzzer beater Hail Mary in their 30s talking about, oh, I need to get married right away. This is what modern women, this is what career women are doing. And this is what we're telling them not to do.
Are actually believing that. They're actually believing it, especially on the right. Because like the trad mom has gotten so popular. And it's like, no, if we do that, we're not going to have any strong conservative or right-leaning women to provide a role model for younger conservative women who, and there's nothing to apologize for here, don't necessarily want to spend all their 20s and their 30s getting married and having kids, or can't.
That's the problem. That's exactly what I told you is the winning formula. But what they want to do is live out their life, go do all of this thought shit, and then all of a sudden, when she's in her 30s, running up against the clock, hey, simp, why don't you just come here and wife me up? Is that any way to approach a marriage, Megyn Kelly? Absolutely not. Why don't you prioritize your family first and then your career second? Nobody is saying you can't have both, but one has a time limit, the other does not. Which are you going to prioritize? Preferably the one with the time limit first.
They just weren't able to meet somebody and definitely don't need to be shamed over it.
Okay, so that was Megyn Kelly out here being a covert feminist, and that sparked off this whole thing on Twitter. Kim Iverson responded to it. And I actually like Kim Iverson, but she got to get cooked for this. Saying men think the problem is lack of trad wives is actually their addiction to corn culture that destroys families. Yo, typical feminist, always blaming the men. You know what I came to realize is that women actually have a biological wiring to be adverse to accountability and always blame men for whatever the problem is. Even the most conservative of women, both of these two are mainstream conservative figures. And they do a good job for the most part. But when it comes to this topic, they just miss the point. This chick says, me personally, if I was a single guy looking to marry, I'd probably be a passport bro, to be honest. And then this chick right here responds, passport bros love to act like American women are the problem while they're getting finessed overseas by women who see them as a walking wallets. Maybe if American men offered to provide for us the way they do for women abroad, we could actually relax into our femininity instead of surviving in this hyper independence. It's not that American women don't want to be soft. It's that we can't afford the fantasy without the real world support. So I respond right here, and follow me on Twitter, guys. I be cooking on there, Chef Boy RD. Follow me at It's an Evil World. It is an evil world. So I said, I've said this before, the dating and marriage problem is largely financial. However, with that said, Western women are too indoctrinated by feminism to ever change. That's a fact. Then this chick responds to me saying, if you genuinely believe this, you haven't earnestly tried dating American women. Most of us aren't feminist ideologues. We're deeply traditional at heart. We long to build warm homes, raise children with care, and support a man who leads with strength and love. But you don't see us. You've been writing us off. The truth is, American men have been just as indoctrinated, not by feminism, but by the red pill echo chambers that breed cynicism and distrust. They parrot worst case divorce myths without ever questioning the narrative. So instead of seeking meaningful connection at home, they run overseas, not for love, but for control. Yo, they always talk this control nonsense. And ironically, the very thing they feared in American women being used is what they're willingly walk into abroad. We are not your enemy, but until we stop talking past each other and start listening, everybody loses. So I said, you seem to be debating in good faith, so I'll say this. Traditional women often don't realize what modern women are actually like, or how many of them are out here. You say, I haven't earnestly tried dating American women. How many have you dated? Exactly. That doesn't mean there aren't any good women left, but they're the exception, not the norm. Most traditional women live in circles of like-minded friends and assume there's a surplus of marriage-minded women. That's just not the reality. And the rise of red pill content proves this point. That is a fact. Red pill content is a direct response to feminism and what feminism has done to modern women. I say that right here. It's a direct response to feminism and didn't happen for no reason. Millions of men are having the same experiences and coming to the same conclusions. Something's wrong. Between economic pressures and modern women's attitude towards men, a lot of guys have simply opted out of playing a rigged game. That is a fact. Whether they go abroad or quietly walk away, it's not about control. It's about survival. And that's what a lot of these feminists don't realize. They completely miss the point that guys don't have the time to be playing these games. At some point, you've got to work on yourself and you got to survive. And the ROI on pursuing modern women just isn't worth it. That is a fact. And that's what this whole video is about, that these tradcons miss this point completely. And then Matt Walsh also got dragged into this whole thing. We'll take a brief look at this.
A man is not looking for a business partner. He's not looking for someone to provide for him. He wants a wife. He wants a mother for his future children. He wants a helpmate. He wants a woman, not a man. This is not a new phenomenon. Megyn calls this desire of young men a problem that is coming up on the right. But it's not a problem, and it's not coming up. Kim Iverson responded in agreement with Megyn and said that she, quote, doesn't get this trad wife trend. But what she's calling a trend, or what Megyn says is just coming up, is in fact the norm. It's the way human society has been organized since the dawn of civilization. A young man seeking a woman who will have his children and prioritize raising them and keeping a home is doing the same thing that billions of other young men have done since time immemorial. This traditional approach is not some new fad invented by TikTok influencers, nor is it a far-right conspiracy. It is the way of human civilization. These young men, they want what their grandfathers wanted, and what their grandfathers' grandfathers wanted, and what their grandfathers' grandfathers' grandfathers wanted, and on through the ages. The trend, the fad.
We're the only generation of men who are getting a lesser quality woman and are expected to provide 10 times the effort, 10 times the result, 10 times everything to get a subpar woman. Who wants that?
The new thing, Megyn, is feminism. However you feel about career women who find their value and purpose in the working world, there's no question that they are the ones doing something new. Feminism sent women out of the home and into cubicles and boardrooms. Feminism convinced many women to desire professional success over and above family and children. And now feminists are angry that men were not reprogrammed along with them. Okay? Men don't want what feminism is selling.
Anyways, that's where I'll leave it, guys. Let me know your thoughts down below. Do you agree, disagree? Like, subscribe. I'll catch you on the next one.